In the heart of a small American town named Riverside, surrounded by endless cornfields and the soft hum of trains passing in the distance, lived a boy named Ethan Walker. Riverside was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, where dreams were often too small to fit into the wide blue sky that stretched above the town. Yet, for Ethan, that very sky was both his greatest inspiration and his deepest source of fear. Ethan had been afraid of heights for as long as he could remember. Even standing on the porch railing of his house made his knees tremble. His fear wasn't something he could laugh off, it controlled him. At school, when kids climbed the rope in gym class, Ethan froze halfway. His hands slick with sweat, his heart pounding like a drum about to burst. The other kids would shout, some cheering, some laughing, but for Ethan, the height seemed like a cliff that wanted to swallow him whole. His father, Mark Walker, was a construction worker, used to walking beams high above the ground as if gravity had no power over him. "Son," he often said, "fear is just a shadow. It can't hurt you unless you let it." Ethan would nod, pretending to understand, but inside he felt the shadow of fear gripping him tighter every day. Ethan's mother, Sarah, was softer, gentler. She believed in quiet strength. "Ethan," she would whisper, "it's okay to be afraid. What matters is what you do with that fear." For most of his childhood, Ethan avoided situations that forced him to confront heights. While his friends jumped off diving boards at the town pool, Ethan sat at the edge, dipping his feet in the water, trying to laugh along as though he wasn't left out. He became good at hiding, good at pretending. But deep down, he knew his fear was chaining him, holding him back from more than just climbing ropes or diving boards. It was shaping the way he lived his life. One summer, when Ethan turned 15, Riverside hosted its annual county fair. The fair was the highlight of the year: bright lights, carnival games, the smell of fried dough drifting through the air, and the towering Ferris wheel that could be seen from miles away. Ethan's best friend, Logan, grabbed his arm and said, "Come on, man. Let's ride the Ferris wheel." Ethan's stomach twisted. The Ferris wheel, with its slow, high arc over the town, looked more like a monster than a ride. "Nah," Ethan muttered, forcing a laugh. "I'll just watch from down here." Logan frowned. "Ethan, you've gotta stop letting fear run your life. You're missing everything." Those words cut deep. That night, lying awake in his small bedroom, Ethan thought about what Logan had said. He realized his fear wasn't just about heights, it was about never living fully, never taking risks, never stepping into the unknown. For the first time, Ethan wanted to fight back. The turning point came a few weeks later. Riverside High School announced a summer leadership camp in Colorado, designed to push students out of their comfort zones. The brochure showed kids rock climbing, hiking mountains, even ziplining through forests. Just looking at the pictures made Ethan's palms sweat. But something inside him whispered, "This is your chance." Against every instinct, Ethan signed up. When he told his parents, his dad grinned proudly. "That's my boy. You'll come back taller than the mountains themselves." His mom kissed his forehead, whispering, "Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it." The camp was held in the rugged beauty of the Rocky Mountains, where peaks touched the clouds and rivers carved paths through valleys. For a boy from a flat, small town, the sight was overwhelming. The first day, standing at the base of a climbing wall that stretched 25 feet high, Ethan's legs turned to stone. "All right, campers," shouted Coach Daniels, the camp leader, his voice. He opened his eyes, focused on the next hold, and pulled himself higher. One step at a time. His arms burned, his legs trembled, but somehow, he kept moving. At 15 feet, his mind screamed to stop. At 20 feet, sweat dripped into his eyes. At 24 feet, his hands slipped, and for a terrifying second he dangled in midair, held only by the safety rope. Gasps rose from the campers below. "Hold on, Ethan." Logan's voice echoed from the crowd. "You've got this." Summoning every ounce of strength, Ethan reached for the final hold and slammed his hand onto the top. The moment his feet touched the ledge, a roar of cheers erupted below. Ethan stood there, chest heaving, eyes wide, staring out at the endless horizon of mountains. For the first time in his life, he wasn't looking down, he was looking forward. That night, lying in his bunk bed, Ethan realized something powerful. Fear had always been his enemy, but now it felt like a teacher. It had forced him to dig deeper, to find strength he didn't know he had. He whispered to himself, "If I can climb this wall, maybe I can climb anything." It was only the beginning.